What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, and on this show, as a former O lineman, I got a soft spot for the big guys up front, and I have probably, or in my opinion, the best offensive lineman at the FCS level. My guy, PJ Burkhalter from Nicholls State. This guy is a three-time Southland Offensive Lineman of the Year, multiple-time All-American. And listen, no one in the Southland wins an Offensive Lineman Award but this guy. So they're probably happy to see him graduate after the season. But man, PJ, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
So I went through all the awards, and everyone's probably like, how did this guy end up at Nicholls State? So kind of walk me through your recruitment. Who was looking at you, and what really, I guess, ultimately led you to Nicholls State?
I had a couple teams, Alcorn State, Southeastern, McNeese University. I had some big time schools. It really wasn't. They really wasn't giving me the interest that like some of my teammates in high school had. But Coach Rebo, it was Coach Rebo, Coach Tim Rebo, who got the job in 2015 at Nicholls. It was, and when I came on my official visit, it just felt like home. Like the Thibodeau area, it feels just like where I'm from. Small town, great community, and Coach Rebo, he a good dude, a good man, and I just appreciate him for taking the chance on me.
Well, listen, I might have been the best chance he has ever taken in his career, man. So I have to ask you, and I like to ask FCS players we have on the show about this. Kind of walk me through, what were the challenges of the spring season? Everyone, I mean, you guys were supposed to play in the fall. COVID takes over. Everything's moved to the spring. A quick turnaround this season. For you, though, just in your career, how tough was the spring season on you?
I think physically it was challenging. You coming off, you playing a game, you playing, however many games you had, and then you got like a 2 month, recovery period. Then you got fall camp again. Then you got to go through another whole fall camp. You got to go through a whole full season. It was just, it was kind of taxing. But our strength coach, Coach Frank Bourgeois, he took care of us. He didn't put too much on us, but he put enough for us to, still get better. But like football wise, it was no different. You still had meetings, you still had practices, you still had travel days. I mean, at the end of the day, it was about football, and that's what really matters. So it don't matter if it's played in the fall, it don't matter if it's played in the spring. At the end of the day, it's football. So
I like it. So I have to ask, as a guy who you've played at this level for a long time, is that something you would like to see the FCS explore in the future, maybe playing in the spring? Because we saw all the attention on you guys. No Power 5 football, no FBS football, the NFL season winding down. Did you like the spring season? Do you think it was good for the FCS?
I think it was. Like you said, it gave us a lot of attention compared to if we play in the fall. But I think it'll really be a good opportunity for FCS schools to really consider playing in the spring. So I do agree with you.
I like it. So the Southland was so weird this year, man. You guys had a lot of good teams for one, but due to conference realignment, you guys had to play teams twice in the same season. Kind of walk me through, how tough was that to game plan now that you had to, change everything? I mean, you guys saw some teams two times within like a 4 or 5 week period. How tough was it on you guys to prepare to play teams twice?
It was tough. You had to be creative. You just can't line up in the same formations or whatever. Run the at the end of the day, um, it was tough. It was tough on us because sometimes like if you play these teams, you play out these teams throughout my 7 years I was at Nicholls. It's like sometimes they'll catch on to your calls and stuff, and that was kind of hard. But playing a team like Southeastern, the Riverbell Classic is a big thing. Nicholls versus Southeastern. It felt like the playoffs. You play them in, I forgot what week we played on, week 5 or something, and then you turn around, you play them at the end of the season. It's like, that the emotion you get from playing them is just like, it's so hard to like to like control your emotions. I would say, but you just have to be really creative, and you just can't show too much. I guess. But it's really hard.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I mean, you guys got that last game. That was one of the best games of the year in the Southland. I mean, that last game between you guys and Southeastern was one to really watch. But how does it feel, man? I mean, when I say it, I know it probably doesn't register for you because you just finished up your time in Nicholls. But how does it feel to be a three-time Southland Offensive Lineman of the Year? And two, did you ever think to let anyone else feel like they could win the award, or were you like just rename it the PJ Burkhalter Award?
Yes, sir. I feel good. I give it all to my teammates. I give it to my O-line coach, Coach Lee Roussel. He does a fantastic job in developing. He done developing players like me and Jair Joseph and Mark Bartholomew and Evan Roussel. He just does a good job at he coaches me like I was still a freshman. Every day of practice, it don't matter like what accolades I have got, what I have done personally or on the field wise, no matter what, even what Jair and them did, he coaches us hard. He coaches us fair. He coaches us. It's really him. It was. I want to give all the credit to him because he is one of the biggest influences in my life. And when football over for me, I'm still gonna be going by his house. I'm still gonna be, calling him every day because it was really him and the guys that was in my room. So I give all the credit to them.
Oh man, I like to hear the relationship between the O line coach
Yeah,
and you guys, man.
he really
But
the best.
I love it. Listen, he has to be. You guys have been turning out some real great offensive linemen out of Nicholls, but I talk about it on the show all the time, and people, people who haven't played O line probably don't get it because they're always like, "Why does the O line struggle? Why do new O line struggle when players come in and out?" Just speak to how important to you as a player was chemistry along the offensive line throughout the season because you went from center to guard and played multiple positions. How important is the chemistry of the offensive line?
It's really important. You have to work at it every day. From watching film together to asking questions with Coach Lee, who I talked about, staying after practice, um, coming before practice. It's just important because it's a unit. It all works and it's all everybody one. If one person mess up on the O line, the whole play is sometimes over with. So it takes communication. It takes knowing how the left tackle work his double teams, or how the center like to work his double team. So it's all about what you like and what the your teammate like, and just coming together and be like, this. I feel like this will work, and you just work at it, and then. I think that's the best answer I can give you.
Oh yeah, I try to explain it on the show all the time because we cover some teams that offensive lines aren't really clicking. I'm like, until you play O line, like you don't
Right.
understand how important the guy next to you really is. But
It's so many techniques that you learn throughout your years here. Playing O line. It's just so technical because if you have one bad step, the next step if your first step bad, your next 2-3 gonna be bad. So it's very sound. You have to be very sound and very uh, be a technician.
oh yeah, well, like my big thing here is respect offensive linemen. Everyone just likes to overlook them. Look at all these running backs. Look at the quarterbacks. It's like without the O lineman,
Right.
none of that would be possible. And this question, I'm expecting a certain answer. I know what I would give it a grade, but what letter grade would you give your career at Nicholls State?
I'm gonna be hard on myself. I'll probably give myself like a B plus. B
Man,
plus.
there's no way. Like I mean,
You always have something. You always have something in your game that you can improve on. Developing O line play is never ending. You always can find something. You always can get better at what you're good at. So I give myself a B plus.
Man, I want to know. I can't wait to see what you're at when you get to an A. Everything you can accomplish, man. Because a B plus with all of that is insane, man. But take a step back, man. Like you said, you've been at Nicholls for like 7 years, man. It's a long time to go back in your head to this. look at the PJ who stepped on campus as a true freshman to you now as a multi-time All-American. How has your game evolved since then?
A lot of people don't know this. My first 2 years at Nicholls, I did not play because I had a kidney issue. So I had low kidney function. Them 2 years, I couldn't play. The day before fall camp, I got called into Coach Rebo's office, and the doctor said I couldn't play because it was just a risk, getting injured and stuff. But I took them 2 years, lose weight, get stronger, mature. I think that's the biggest thing is mature. And then, 2 years later, I lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of muscle, and the doctor that didn't clear me was a doctor that I worked out at his CrossFit gym, and he seen how I developed, and he gave me a chance. And so in 2017, he cleared me, and in them 2 years, I think that's the biggest thing. In them 2 years, I matured and I knew what to do and what not to do. So I learned from other people, like other college players, like you better go to class, you better study for that history test. You better not be late for weight. So I think just being ahead of the game when I got back on the field is just it made it a lot easier. It's just when I first came in, when I came back in 2017, I just had to learn the game. I had to get accustomed to how fast the game moved because I didn't play in 2 years. So that was the biggest thing, and just getting more knowledgeable about the game, understanding what the defense is trying to do. So over, after 2017, over them past 5 years, it's just I feel like I'm more knowledgeable of the game and more smarter, and it slowed the game down a lot more.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big thing. I know a lot of players talk about as soon as that game slows down, that's where you really see them hit their stride at the college level. But looking at yourself right now, man, I mean, what are your biggest strengths as a player right now?
I think my biggest strength as a player is moving another person against their will. I like the run game. I like outside zone. I like inside zone. I like zone read. I like power read. I like power. I think that's the biggest thing is I can move people against their will. I like jump sets. I like jump setting 3 techniques. I like jump setting 2 eyes. I like jump setting. I think that's some of my biggest things is because as a bigger dude, you can do all that, and I just think that works for me.
Man, I like to hear. And I mean, you're such an experienced player. You talk about your football IQ. When you turn on the film of a defense going into game week, one, how much film do you watch? And two, what are the first things you're looking for when you're studying an opponent?
So what I do on Sunday after the game, I watch the previous game a couple times. We watch it as a unit, and then let me back up. So after the game, when it's uploaded, I watch it that night, and then when I wake up, I watch the game again, and then as a unit, as when Coach Lee and them in there, we watch it, and then after that, after we have a small practice, I come back home and watch the next opponent. I just like on Sundays it's just usually like what they line up in, what are they in a 40 front, are they in a 30 front, are they double eagle, that's really on Sundays, and then like the next couple of days is what they like on first down, what they line up in first down. Is the 3 tech to the back always? Are they flip flopping? And then like throughout the week, I watch pass rush moves. What's their number one pressure they like to send? What's they favorite game to get to? What's their favorite pass rush? What they like to do in third and long. And then you just watch it. You just keep watching. You keep watching. You keep watching. So you know what's gonna happen. And that's how the game slows down for. It slowed down for me because all the film I watch. So, biggest thing is just learning your opponent. Tips. Tips they can have in their stance. Or they can be always a G and then they line them as a shade, so you know what's coming. It's just watching film is the biggest thing.
I'd love to pick players' minds on how they watch them and what they look for. That was a great answer, man. But looking at you as an O lineman, who do you watch in the NFL? Who do you model your game after the most right now?
The biggest you are Quentin Nelson. He is the most dominant offensive lineman in the game right now. The way he come off the ball, the way he attack people, the way he run to the ball. you know, picking up his running back off the ground, picking up, you know, whatever. He's just so, and then he's so smart, so smart. So I would think it's Quentin Nelson.
That's the best. I mean, if you're a guard, that should be like the guy you want to be is Quentin Nelson right now. And I know offensive linemen, not very quote unquote people would say high maintenance. It's just we're gonna go to work, we're gonna move people against their will. But for you, do you have a pregame routine on game days, or you just I'm gonna suit up and I'm gonna go beat the guy in front of me?
To be honest, I really don't have a game. The only thing I really do is get my coffee for one, get some caffeine in you, and then I do stretch a little bit. But other than these other people having these big game dudes, I really don't. I don't listen to music during game day
Wow.
because I don't like to. You get too high sometimes, and then and you crash. So I like to keep it at this level. Sometimes I get up there during the game, but during the game I'm more, but I really don't have a pregame routine. I don't know why. I just can't do it.
It's all good. Every offensive lineman I talk to, most of them don't. The offensive linemen are like, listen, we know our job. We'll
Right.
reach all on the field. That's it.
Right.
Like
That's it.
it's the
That's
DBs, the
simple.
wide receivers. They got the whole like
Yeah.
setup and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I always like to come up with these positional questions for each position. What's most important to an O lineman if you had to pick one, strength or footwork?
I think it's footwork. I think it starts from the ground up. I think it's footwork. I think that's the biggest thing, especially when you play teams that move a lot, that slant a lot. And I think the biggest thing is footwork against that. I feel like I think it's footwork.
That's the one I would also go. Like you say, it starts
It
from the ground
starts
up,
from
and
the
then
ground up. If you can't move, you can't do nothing else. So
that's true. And so building off of that, when you look at a D line, when you're watching film or you're in a game, what's the number one mistake a defensive lineman can make against you?
they try to bull rush me. That's probably it's not gonna work.
He said you could try if you want.
Yeah.
He's getting moved if that happens. I love it, man. And I know defensive linemen them and corners are the biggest trash talkers on every team that you face. Are you a big trash talker during the game?
Sometimes I am. It depends. If I'm just like moving you and caking you out, I'm talking. I talk if you're a good player, I'm talking back. But most of the time I am. I'm a trash talker. I ain't gonna lie.
I like you got to have a mean streak in you as an
You got to.
offensive
You
lineman.
got
You
to.
can't be nice.
I'm nice off the field, but on the field you just got to turn on the switch. You got to turn it on.
And building off that, you said if you're a good player, you'll talk. Who are some of the best D linemen you've ever faced one on one?
I think the best D is the D tackle from Sam Houston, Joseph Wallace. I think
Yep.
he was the best I had ever faced. That's including Power 5. He's just so active.
Wow.
He never quit. He was very, very quick and very, very strong. So I think that was one of the best that I remember. I even went against PJ Hall, who was played at Sam Houston a couple years before him, and I thought Joseph Wallace better than him.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, Sam Houston's got a few D linemen. The one
They
that
do.
they have now, I believe it's Jahari Key. He's also
He the end. I think he the end.
Yeah, he's the end.
Mm-hmm.
They got some studs on the D line, but
They do.
I mentioned all the awards and accolades you've had, man. What keeps you motivated despite all the praise and accolades that you've earned throughout your career?
To be honest, the accolades and the awards, it don't matter. It really don't. What keeps me motivated is I just want to be successful in whatever I do. That's either football or being an O-line coach, because that's what I want to do when I finish playing. It's just it's the fear of failure. That's what scares me, and that's what wakes me up in the morning. That's what keeps me up at night sometimes. Just not wanting to fail and making my mom proud, making my family proud, because I know they put a lot of time into me. Helping me throughout the years in college. Mom sending me money, and that's the biggest thing is not letting my family down, and in the fear of failure.
Right. And I mean, Nicholls, they've had some guys, go to NFL rosters recently, but they haven't had a player drafted since '09, man. You're going to be one of the best prospects of the FCS coming out. What would it mean to you to be the first Nicholls State player to be drafted since '09?
It would mean a lot, like you said, the last player was drafted in 2009. Again, I want to make my family proud. I want to make myself proud. But I think it would mean a lot to the school, to the community, and to my hometown, a small town, somebody getting drafted. So I think it'll mean a lot to me.
Oh, man, I love it. And so, if an NFL franchise asks you this offseason, what would they get? Why should they draft PJ Burkhalter out in Nicholls State? What are you telling them?
I think they're gonna get a hard worker, a humble guy. I don't like to talk about myself. I don't like to, post on social media. I don't like to, talk about myself a lot. They're gonna get a smart football player, somebody who gonna come to work every day and not gonna complain. Gonna do what you ask, be coachable, knowledgeable, and be a good teammate, be a good dude.
Oh, man. Listen, I'm hoping to hear your name called in April. You deserve it, man. But I mean, man, you've had a great career, man, and everything. And I wish you the best of luck going into April. And I definitely appreciate you giving me some of your Thursday night to come on the show to record this, man. But where can they find you? Where can they keep up with you? I know a bunch of people are going to be wanting to keep up with you as you head off to the NFL, man. So you can drop your social medias, give any and all shout outs or plug anything you want to plug, man. This time is yours.
My Twitter name is PJ Burkhalter at Polo Paul 103. My Instagram is PJ Burkhalter 64. I want to give a shout out to Nicholls State, the community, Coach Rebo, Coach Lee Roussel, just giving me a chance 7 years ago. I want to give a shout out to my mama. I love you. You why I do it. I want to give a shout out to the offensive lineman.
Hey, you got respect the front five, people. That is what we're trying to say. I mean, everyone just overlooks them, and we got to give them some credit. But man, PJ, thank you so much, man. And guys, like I said, the whole point of these interviews, man, is to support the players, get them recognized. People don't watch enough FCS football, so we're going to do our part in getting this interview out there, running up the views. Make sure to like it, and also make sure to go follow PJ on any and all of his social medias, man. But PJ, I appreciate it. But guys, we'll be back very, very soon with some more college football content. But for PJ, myself, and the Blue Bloods, we are out for right now.